throw a question.
And we are live. Good afternoon slash evening, depending on where you're at in the world, crypto warriors. And welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto. This is a very special AMA. We're going to be talking about frictionless DeFi with none other than the marketing team from Voltage.finance, where they're trying to bring DeFi to the hands of everyone. Full disclosure, we will also be doing a sponsor review for them later on in the week. So you'll have a chance to check out one of those 10 or 12 minute videos to see what other things they offer, how the app actually works, and so on and so forth. Of course, do your own research, but with the team from Voltage Finance, we have none other than Zach Miller here. Welcome to the show, Zach Miller. What's going on?
Not much, man. I appreciate the introduction, man. I'm glad to be here.
For sure. Really quick, we always do this. Can you give us your background, how you got into crypto or Bitcoin, and then what brought you over to Voltage Finance? Tell us why everyone should be learning and knowing about Voltage Finance.
Yeah. I guess keep it brief. I got into crypto. I was still young in college. I'm still young now for the most part, right? Playing baseball in college, and one of my teammates who were just sitting at the apartment one day, and he said, "Hey, man, have you heard of Ethereum? You've heard of Bitcoin before?" And I was, not knowing. I said, "No, not at all, man. Show me what it's about." Went to Coinbase. That was my first experience. Set up a wallet and whatnot, and bought my first coins. And from there, once I really discovered what a smart contract was and how to, utilize MetaMask and bounce to these different chains, I really fell down a rabbit hole, as most people do, exploring on my own. And from there, I started to make YouTube videos explaining crypto for dummies, basically. And Fuse Network caught hold of what I was doing and how I was speaking to people. And they basically said, "Hey, I would love for you to come on board and help us promote and explain exactly what we're trying to do, because we want to make this onboarding process easier for the masses." So I started off with Fuse and broke off from Fuse to work with Voltage. And I still kind of work hand in hand with the Fuse team as well. So yeah, that's background on me, how I got started into crypto, and here I'm kind of flowing now.
Nice. I love to hear about content creators who go from like creating and talking about crypto, Bitcoin, to actually working for the project. It means the industry is like literally growing, and like as people learn about, they're jumping into it. Quick shout out. I was going on JoJo Way for Sure Entertainment, Captain G32, D Gore's World, 64 ECG, FTW, Erica. That is right. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. And we are in love with crypto. Personally, I'm definitely in love with the DeFi sector. So we're talking DeFi. I'm paying attention to some of these new projects out there. And then, of course, this is another way for you all to, again, learn about new projects, go research them, find out more about it. So let's jump into it. Voltage Finance, DeFi. You guys are talking about building DAOs. Like, first question is, what's going to make you different than the rest of the different projects out there that are in the DeFi sector?
100%. So I always tell people when I'm explaining what exactly Voltage is, I say it's kind of it's like a Uniswap, on the on the Fuse network, right? It's your one-stop shop. If you see, he has the page pulled up here, the application, right? You can swap, you can pool to set up a farm, an LP token to be able to farm. You have lending, there's borrowing through our partner Ola Finance. And then obviously, as we move forward after the launch of the Volt token, you will be able to stake to earn some passive income on the protocol accrued fees, right? So this is a one-stop shop. And you say, well, like the question to hit on the question, what is different about Voltage? Well, we combined a mobile application called Fuse Cash, which is self-custody wallet. You have full access to your keys. We actually were doing a promotion for people to download their keys for this wallet, and it has everything integrated from Voltage Finance. And it's as easy to operate as like Robinhood or PayPal or Venmo or anything along those lines, right? So what does that do for anyone who's trying to get into crypto? Most people fall on the Binance, Crypto.com, Coinbase. We just had the Super Bowl. We saw all the big players, promoting and pushing things, right? Well, we said, hey, we give you no fees to utilize the Fuse Cash application to purchase, we call Fuse USD. It's our stable coin. And it allows you to now swap any token on our network using the Voltage DEX. So they are used in tandem in order to onboard anybody who's not a crypto native. So that's like the core principle of why Voltage and Fuse Cash work together, and why Voltage is different than just, let's say, Spooky Swap or Trader Joe on Avalanche or something like that.
Nice. So first, I would say, so are you actually onboarding dollars as well, or is it just stable coins?
No, so you can purchase Fuse, or you can purchase FUSD, which is the stable coin that we, created. Most protocols, I'd say most networks are going to have their own stable coin. So you got, Binance Dollar, USDC, and then we created Fuse USD or FUSD. And it's just a way for users to be able to go between the Fuse token back to a stable coin without the volatility happening. Because if we want to issue payments, or different protocols are working together, and there needs to be a finite dollar amount sent, we don't want that fluctuation. You're either sending too much or too little. It's kind of difficult to do commerce that way.
So are you all, I guess, like, are you all backed by assets or collateral when it comes to the
Fuse? Yeah, we locked up a portion of the Fuse tokens, and we created kind of a little treasury. We have a treasury that is backed for the FUSD we're issuing. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So brand new users, Voltage and Fuse, where should they go first to get started? How does this work?
I personally think that the onboarding and the understanding for everyday person who wants to kind of learn more about DeFi, I would start first with the Fuse Cash wallet. You can just leave your dollars once you've onboarded, put your debit card in, done your, KYC and whatnot. You can put your dollars on our application and earn a passive yield that will be way higher than a savings account. So that in itself, if you're new to crypto, you don't want volatility, just to get started and learn, you can go on here, put your money in here and start earning a yield. And then as you start to learn and you want to, connect and get on Voltage and start maybe lending, or start, entering these different farm pools we have, you can kind of explore at your own pace, but you don't have to jump straight into it. So I would go Fuse Cash first, then I would connect from Fuse Cash to Voltage Finance. And from there, then that's when I would start moving through the kind of the ecosystem, and then getting into more protocols on Fuse.
Is this is this just an example, or are you all already up and running as far as the network supply balance and the USDC? Is this accurate, or is this just examples right now?
Oh no, this is accurate. It's up and running. It's full fledged. We're actually implementing a couple of new things. The governance, if you see all the tokens we've just added, I apologize. That's we're in the middle of kind of adding some things right now to be able to onboard, what we want to move forward towards. And I say, like, the governance, the staking, we're nearing our launch of our token, which will happen at the end of this month. So we have a lot of moving pieces, contracts being developed, developers throwing different things out, testing, but this is live currently. And everything is functional. We've been using it. Prior to Voltage, this was called FuseFi. And FuseFi was kind of confusing for everyone because the Fuse network and then FuseFi, they didn't know what was what. So we just rebranded it.
Nice. Okay. So wait, how long have you all been in existence in total?
Since 2020. Yeah, it's been around for a while. Yeah.
Well, I will say, so I'm looking at the lending side of things. I'm not sure how to get rid of this pop-up. I was trying to get rid of this pop-up here. Not sure what's going on with that, but I was looking at the lending, and what I will say I do like is the deposit APY, because you do see with a lot of new projects to attract new users and volume, put this decimal point or 1 or 2 to the right. And then you have, it's like 535% APY, it's like 5,000% APY. So for you all to be coming out saying, no, we got a solid, which is still amazing. You talk about traditional market, but 5 to 7, 8%. I can appreciate, like, that makes it more realistic to me.
Yeah. And the funny part is, so we did this thing with Ola Finance, which is our partner for the lending and borrowing. They call it the Rainmaker program. And they were actually incentivizing those to take a loan. So to borrow, so you're not only getting a yield if you were supplying, but you're also getting a positive yield for borrowing, just to incentivize using Ola and like kind of bouncing around the ecosystem and figuring out what was going on. So yeah, that lending and borrowing, it's basically our Aave on the Fuse network right now. which will continue to grow and expand and bootstrap all the other apps that will come on board.
So has there been any issues in you all's existence where people, I guess, value? People always worry on these DeFi platforms, the rug pull. Can I pull my value out after I put it in? If so, do I have time restrictions? Is it locked? Like, do you have any time locks, any restrictions when it comes to value being locked in? Have you all seen any issues in the past? And so how have you dealt with those?
In terms of like staking on the protocol, or like in terms of an investment, like for Volt, the actual Volt token investment, what can you elaborate for me on there?
Right. So say, for example, it's people, some of our community says, all right, let's go ahead and try out lending or farming on the Fuse network or Voltage or whatever. I want to try to get some of these APYs out, and then in 48 hours, they want to take it out. Is there something like, well, your value that you put on the platform must be left on for 3 days first before you take it off? Or has there been any issues with people withdrawing that value in general?
Yeah, so there's no need to leave it, or we have no restrictions or even like penalties for removing after a short amount of time. It's free. Come and go as you please. We also have our bridge. We have partnered with some other bridges to be able to maneuver and move tokens from. We have Ethereum bridge. We have Binance. And we're working on, we eventually want to deprecate this bridge and allow another bridge to operate. So we have fees to move on and off. And we also have a minimum just because, we are supplying the liquidity to move between that bridge currently. And eventually when we partner and we remove that kind of burden off of us, then it will be free to go as you please, like any swap or something along those lines. So that's coming. I mean, there's also an option if you just need to remove off the Fuse network, you could use Elk Finance, which is another application on the Fuse network. So.
Oh, here it is. Okay. You all have, and we talked about this before the show. I said, hey, if projects are good, nobody has no need to worry. People in our channel will use it, but they definitely will look into it. Shout out to JG Wentworth. He's a very intelligent guy. He's been in a lot of projects in the space, but he says it seems legit so far. No clear red flags. Going to look into it. There we go. All right, he's going to do a deep dive. This is a deep dive type of guy. I want you to know that. So make sure everything's on the up and up over there. Is that?
Yeah.
So when it comes to in general, what are you guys' philosophy on DeFi? That is important to know from projects. Essentially, people kind of always want to know who the team is, if the team's been doxed, or their views on DeFi and how they plan to move the platform forward. What are some of those thoughts from your team over there at Voltage Finance?
Yeah, so I came on board with the team because I really believed in what they were, trying to do from the Fuse side. So what we did actually is we took some core developers from the Fuse network who actually architected the network itself, which is a full scale EVM compatible, L1 chain. And we brought some of those developers to Fuse, or to Voltage, to actually design and code out Voltage Finance, right? So I guess to drop some names, right, fully doxed for all intents and purposes, right? Mark Schmargen, he's a CEO. Isaac Rogden is going to be our head of business development, and then the CMO or chief marketing officer is Robert. So I usually don't say his last name because my last name is Miller and his last name is Miller. So people think we're brothers or something. It's like, nah.
I got some nepotism going on in these projects.
We're not related whatsoever. I didn't know him from a can of paint before we start working together, but he is also resembles me. So it kind of crosses people up. But so all three of them, stand-up guys. They're very active on all social media fronts, just as much as LinkedIn and things like that. All different backgrounds. Mark's been in the space, feels like 15 to 20 years now. He's developed his first startup when he was 14 years old. He's Israeli. Dude is like wicked genius type of guy. Super good on the tech side. And then he just ended up falling into the role of being a CEO because he had such a market research mindset on where exactly financial payments and open finance would eventually, be what it would eventually become. I mean, he's coded alongside of some of the greats, I say greats as in like, Vitalik and people like that. He knows these people and kind of has arms reach on all these. So Mark's been influential in our ethos in what we're trying to go about. And that kind of was just transpired or transposed right to Voltage, which was great because now you have a docs team from Fuse has built a product because we knew you need a DEX, you need a native DEX. And not only that, you need a cosign for this DEX for everyone to be able to trust the products that are being, or the projects that are being listed on here are somewhat legitimate. So we kind of vet these projects that are launching as well. You're going to get some meme coins. You're going to get some gains.
Oh, I was about to ask you, but listen, I'm glad. Listen, again, I give you props. Because I'm going to bring up the page that I had loaded up. I don't mean to cut you off either, but I give you props because listen, my audience won't forgive me if I don't ask you. I have to ask. So like you said, is this more of the marketing side of the house and just making sure everybody gets what they want? Because there is a market for meme coins, folks. I know some people hate it, but there's a market.
Yeah. We have, so obviously Beefy Finance is integrated on the Fuse network and they work hand in hand with Voltage, right? To increase the yields, their yield optimizer. Dojalon reached out to us and basically said, hey guys, we would like to launch on the Fuse network. We think it's great for PR exposure and we want to move to another chain. And we're like, you know what? I mean, why not? We're still in the building phases. We're looking for a lot of, I consider innovative, super creative developers to get on here and just start throwing experiments. Like bring your Olympus DAO times 10, some idea that's only theoretical, and throw it on the Fuse network. We want to see these things kind of operate and play out. And we want to try them. We want to test them first and see if they operate. We have enough within our Fuse DAO, the actual Fuse network DAO, to give grants, to kind of participate in liquidity bootstrapping, you name it, to allow these projects to kind of like bootstrap and build and become something. So, I mean, but as far as the meme coin, Dojalon, that was more so just trying to get some hype out here. We wanted people to understand, like, look, we're not trying to be restrictive. We want everybody to come on chain and be free to go and back and forth as they please,
I like that. So with that, are you at all concerned about like hacks and stuff? Because like you said, you do want those people to come experiment. That is part of the space, like building and experimenting. But with this is fintech. So with it comes money and capital and value. And then the hackers usually come right after. So are you all concerned about that? How do you what's your approach on that?
Not super concerned. We see like large majority, of protocols have either suffered some exploit or hack, right? I think that in large part, we already are looking to get some insurance protocols on board to partner up with them. So if you stake, you lend, you have a large sum of money, locked up in our protocol, we would like to offer some form of insurance in the future. You see networks like Terra with Anchor, you have built-in insurance. You can go ahead and purchase, I think it's Nexus and a couple other companies. But yeah, man, you can't live in fear. That's one of those things, right? It's you got to build fast, and you got to hope that, people use it for the right purpose. But if something were to happen, we definitely we have a backup in mind, right?
And tell us more about the DAO. You said you already started your DAO. You had that rolling. You were even giving out to charities. So this is a Voltage DAO?
Yes. So the Voltage DAO is separate from the Fuse DAO. The Voltage DAO is a progressive DAO. And for those who aren't quite familiar with that terminology, basically we're putting all the pieces together and we slowly handing over to the people to fully govern the entire protocol. We're using Snapshot to be able to take a snapshot from all the wallets that hold the Volt token that are staked, and then issue what we call just a nominal token. It has no real value or dollar value. And people are familiar with how Snapshot works, but that token allows you to vote if you are holding stake Volt tokens at the time of the snapshot. Very simple, how a lot of other protocols do their governance and their voting. It'll mostly be on things that impact the future of Volt finance. And I think that a lot of people say like, well, what's the point? What makes it, beneficial? Well, if you're staking, you get a portion of the fees accrued from the actual protocol. So that's one skin in the game in itself. You're making money off of, being staked. And anybody who votes against themselves to increase profits is kind of crazy to me. So you automatically, you automatically guarantee yourself that if you're staked and you have voting rights, that you're going to vote to accrue more money or make the protocol increase its value in itself. So yeah, we're working towards getting to this full-fledged DAO, but it's what I call a progressive DAO situation happening.
So since you mentioned the progressive DAO, I had to ask the plus and minuses of that. First, again, love the transparency, because some people won't even say that. They'll just say we're already DeFi, we're decentralized, we got the DAO rolling. You get to look and it's like, not really. So I appreciate that transparency. But with that, okay, so one of the things what people worry about is like the rug pull. So what happens if the DAO gets built up and all this stuff is happening, and then boom, nobody's working on the project anymore? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so our team tokens are locked up. We have a vesting schedule. Like, quite frankly, I'm not even on the team for the vesting schedule. This is only for developers, so there's not a huge amount that's even issued out to them. And in terms of like a rug pull and whatnot, like I said, we pretty much, we have an official company, like all the documentation's out. They doxed. We basically put a target on our back so big between our investors and everyone else. If we were to rug right now without even capitalizing on all the potential that we have, it wouldn't even make sense. So I guess to assure everyone that this is a long-term project, we want to be the cosign for the Fuse network for all projects that launch in the future. And this is the only way you can really bootstrap and build around an build an ecosystem as a whole. If you have a DEX or let's look at Polygon, right? Quick swap, gotta have it. Look at Ethereum.
You gotta have one.
Exactly. You got to have a go-to, a guarantee that doesn't flop. Like, you're never gonna go on there and it doesn't work. There's a reason why on Phantom Network nobody uses Spirit Swap. They only use Spooky Swap because Spirit Swap never works when you want it to work. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like one of those things where you want to be the go-to DEX in DeFi Hub. And I think onboarding with, Fuse or integrating with Fuse Cash was what gives us this cohesive feeling. But yeah, I don't know how much more we can do. Mark's on every AMA, I've ever seen. He's so active as a CEO. Everybody's publicly facing. At this point, you gotta, put your neck out at some point, right? So
it looks like a couple of questions people are asking. Everybody's saying is almost amazing and great, and 9 to 10. The one thing that they hate, of course, is the KYC. Is there any ways Jiu-Jitsu crypto? He was going on Jiu-Jitsu. Is there any way to bypass the KYC? Other than that, it sounds interesting. That's the name of the game these days, huh?
Yeah. So I guess your best bet would be, we're only on. I'm trying to think what would be the best way to. So Fuse token is on Gate.io and MEXC. I guess there's some way you could get. I know there's a couple Bitcoin.
Yeah, you got to bypass the Gate or one of them first. Exactly. I get what you're saying. Yeah, so It wouldn't start with them. You would have to bypass it before them, essentially.
Exactly.
Let's see. Did they say when the launch is? What's going on according to Laura? Did they say when the launch is, or can we get started now?
So you can always, get on Voltage and start operating now. I will let everyone know. We're planning to do an airdrop. And it's going to be pretty large. And the documentation, you're speaking to the person who drafted up the documentation for it.
All right, okay, yeah. I told you this is DeFi DJ inside over here. You start talking airdrops, you got our attention. So yeah, airdrops. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there definitely will be an airdrop. There's a couple of things coming up, right? You guys will see a Medium article pushed out about 2 things in particular. Well, 3. One, our Launchpads we'll be utilizing. 2, we will have what's called the Fuse ecosystem round. Everybody who's participated on the Fuse network, whether there's a staking, you're a validator, you've been farming. There's 5 or 6 different categories that were written down. That'll all be expressed in this Medium article that's rolled out here, and it will happen soon. That in itself basically makes you eligible for this Volt airdrop, right? And this airdrop will happen after or while the TGE has finalized. Can't give you guys specific dates just yet. We're gonna push it out, and everyone will be able to read, and they'll see, what exactly is going on. But just know there will be an airdrop for users of the Fuse network, in particular Voltage platform as well. And there are numbers for if you're staking, how much you need to hold, but that is the only stipulation. Any other action on the network or Voltage, there's no necessary amount to make you eligible. I'm trying to think, is there anything else in particular?
Listen, it's always funny. I was going through you on Twitter, and it's always funny. You can look at people's tweets and they're following, and it's like usually average tweets, whatever. You get few people who respond, few people talk about it. You start talking airdrop. Woo! 1,000 retweets overnight. You start talking airdrop. All of a sudden, you have the community's interest. This is hilarious. So really quick, in layman terms, we do have a lot of new people on the channel. I just started in crypto. I understand airdrops and stuff, but what are the steps to get this airdrop? How do I claim this airdrop? What to do?
Okay, so
and it's crazy because you're actually telling us like, no, we're definitely doing an airdrop.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people who don't want to say it. It's like we want to support our community. The whole reason why Fuse, if you've looked at the chart on what Fuse has done over the last year, I mean, it's been on a moon mission. I don't like to talk about price action, but it's really because of our community. So
was that Fuse?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm about to check it. You said, hold on, I'm listening.
I give you less than 2 months ago, I think it was up to about $2.12, 14 cents or something like that. And this is a whole L1 chain that's still under $1 billion market cap. So, which is almost inevitable for those who have been around investing for a while for a full-fledged L1 chain. But to make you eligible, right? Yeah. And the whole market, as it took a dip,
right. Yeah, the whole entire market took a crazy dip for sure.
And it stood up pretty strong. If you recall, the kind of resting place was about 20 cents. Was where
you guys launched at what? 9. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, y'all had your day in the sun last year.
Yeah. So we really kind of, are doing our thing for the most part right now. And it's like, there's so much more to come, but not even to focus on like the investment side of it. The only reason why I bring that up is because of the potential that the network has. I mean, you look at what Avalanche did, you look at what, Phantom Network has done. And you say, wow, like the sky's the limit compared to market cap and everything else what we're about to be able to achieve. But airdrop, back to your question. In order to be eligible for the airdrop, you need to have some Fuse in your wallet. I just tell you that straight up. If you want the easiest bag, get you some Fuse. They're 60 cents a pop, I think, right about now. Load up some and mess around with the network, man. We have a couple different DeFi plays. We got Artrific on the network, which is a NFT marketplace. We got a couple, NFT projects that are launched. You can get one of the few the first ones to drop on the Fuse network. It's kind of like buying a crypto punk, basically back in the day before, they blew up. If Fuse network has any type of pull or push in the next 5 years, you'll own one of the original NFTs on here. So, get you some Fuse, get on Volt, enter a farming pool, make you an LP token, and throw it in, provide some liquidity, lend on our platform, do all the actions that you can, just literally interact with Voltage Finance. And that'll do it. Like that'll do it. That'll set you up to get all the potential categories that you could on an airdrop.
There it is, folks. And it's funny, I might add this to my to-do list of things, so you all might get the freebie too. But I had a list of networks. I actually was just next few weeks I've just been interacting with and playing around with, like you said, providing, the deal, providing liquidity, farming here and there, pooling, just doing stuff just to say I was at the party. So when they send those gift bags, everybody that came through, I make sure I get mine. So I might have to add this to the list as well. Just go on here and start playing around with the bridge and farming and pulling some stuff. So, so you said you can't say yet. It's going to happen in Q1 from what it looks like. Do people need to actually sign up for this? And then what's going on with this chance to win $50,000?
Yeah, so this was our original marketing campaign. We just wanted everyone to kind of learn what exactly we were doing and what we're trying to roll out. So we kick out a newsletter explaining kind of leading up to the launch, right? And this whole homepage will change over and it'll actually explain what voltage is, what you can do, what's the experience, why you'd even want to use voltage. This will be turned over in the next I would say week and a half tops. It'll be turned over to a new homepage. So look forward to that. But all that is a chance to win $50,000. There's a breakdown. You can read the Medium article that explains there. You can either win Bitcoin, Ethereum, or some Volt tokens, or excuse me, some Fuse tokens. That's how the pool is broken down for the winners. But you do not have to enter that in order to be eligible for the airdrop. But if you want to stay up to date, I would highly advise going ahead and entering that campaign as well.
All right. Crypto King, what's going on? Said, will airdrop be at zero value to not cause taxable event?
That's funny. That's funny.
That's zero. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. So I mean, we plan for. I guess I didn't explain the ecosystem round in particular, and you guys probably be pretty excited about this, right? So the Fuse ecosystem round allows anybody holding Fuse to swap for the Volt token, and it's prior to the actual launch of the token, right? So there's 4 prices and there's 4 vesting schedules. All right. So the first price will have the lowest, and it'll be the longest vesting schedule, and it'll go down, and it goes down by 25% all the way up to 100. So you'll start off, 25, 50, 75, 100% unvested. What does this mean? Basically, you can buy Volt at a discount if you have Fuse and you swap for it, but those tokens will be vested unless you pay the full price, which is 6 cents. It's 0.06006, excuse me. And that's, like I said, all this will be in a Medium article. So if you guys really want to know like finite details and everything, and you want to be concrete and know what's going on, well, I'll push that out here soon. We're already on that wavelength to push that out. So you'll have clear, concrete, motion to move forward. But no, it should not come out at 0 cents to say the least. I know.
Perfect. We'll make sure we add that link to the description once you have it as well. They're asking $50,000 in what though?
Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Fuse.
Oh, so it will be a mix, right? So it'll be a mix. Okay, cool. Mix of assets.
First prize gets, I believe, Bitcoin. Second prize is Ethereum, and then so on, so down, I believe.
Okay, so what? I know you said for the airdrop you can't tell us, but any other dates people should be looking forward to moving forward?
I mean, we just finalized our Launchpad dates. So our 3 Launchpads, I will let everyone know that is pretty much public at this point. Engine Starter will be one of our Launchpads, Infinity Pad, and Pools Finance. And for those of you who don't really understand or know what a Launchpad is, it's just simply our community round for those who want to invest in the project before it hits our decks or goes to a central exchange. You can, as long as you're KYC with any of those 3, you can purchase at a discounted price. It'll be on par, or you can also get, if you use the Fuse ecosystem round, you can get the same price point. So yeah, just look out for either one of those. You want to participate in the Fuse ecosystem round, you don't want to KYC, that's available for anyone. And if you want to KYC, you can go through one of the Launchpads. Did I answer your question, or did I?
Oh yeah, perfect. So speaking of that, when it comes to I'm losing, actually, hold on, I'm looking for another one I just saw. When it comes to the voltage finance to actually swap, pool, bridge, I see it says connect wallet here. Is this just a simple MetaMask wallet, or what wallets connect, just so those out there know?
Oh yeah, so we've done an integration with Coinbase wallet. We have you can always do MetaMask, and we also have the Fuse Cash wallet. You can integrate directly with the mobile app already, and we eventually are going to port the entire application Voltage on the mobile application. So you don't have to even leave the application. You can directly, be straight on Fuse Cash and have access to it.
For farming and lending, pool, and all that as well?
All that, yeah.
So, okay, let's talk about that. I see the mobile app here at the bottom, download in the App Store or Google Play. Is that app available to download now?
Yeah, it sure is. And I apologize about this list of these tokens added. I didn't know, I haven't seen that.
Oh,
Just
it's okay. They might I'm using Brave, so it might be because of the browser, but who knows? I need to update it. But I mean, it's glad to know that you all are adding this many tokens as well. But yeah, so for the app, that's just really good. The app, when do you plan on having all those features already put into it? You'll be able to do all this with different tokens on the app. Like, how soon can
yeah.
we start that? What's going on with
Yeah,
that?
well, currently in the whole, I guess I'll run back like the whole purpose of the app, like so it's multifaceted, right? You obviously can do all the DeFi things that you want to do, but you can also send tokens to anyone else with a Fuse wallet, in particular a Fuse Cash wallet. So we have revamped the whole mobile payments operation, right? We got people who use Apple Pay, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, all these different applications, right? Well, now you get your DeFi and you can send to your buddies who have, these particular, the Fuse Cash wallet all in one place. So in terms of a roadmap or a timeline, we're looking to have we can either do one of two ways, right? We've heard that some don't necessarily want all the options because it's an overload for somebody who's newer into the space to be in the application. So we've heard of just had an idea of just putting a browser and allowing you to do a wallet connect and have access within the application. That would obviously be quick. Next couple month and a half, 2 months, we plan to integrate something like that. Or we can spend a little bit more time and do it right and do the full integration, which is what we plan to do. So it might be a timeline. I don't have a put a pin in it just yet, just because our development team is working so hard getting everything else ready. We have some central exchanges, some nice central exchanges that'll facilitate our token here, looking like early next month. So we'll see a launch there. That in itself is kind of our primary focus. So
sounds good. All right, couple more. Michael Kennedy, what's going on, Michael Kennedy? What's going on with the audits? They said, have you all been audited? What's going on? How do you all do your audit scheduling, security audits?
Yeah. So we actually have been audited. Well, we just finished an audit. So that will be sent out. What we want to do basically is just put the full report. We'll probably push it out as a tweet, and showcase that we have been audited. We internally audited as we were building, and then reached out to a couple different partners to be able to finalize that. And I believe the last that I heard was Zokio, but Quill Hash is who we end up going with. Quill Hash is the one that did our final audit. If you guys don't know who Quill Hash is, take a look. They're pretty reputable in the space. So yeah, they're well known for being able to audit code pretty well. So glad to have them on board to facilitate that.
Nice, good stuff. Let's see. Looking at some other comments. What's going on? iPro Fox, Cryptonomics, going on. Dad and Dana, Ray Z, 3 RP, XRP. I'm not sure if you can really answer this. I don't know how this, but XRP said, what are your profit margins for 2021?
Profit margins, as in projected, or what happened as of last year?
Yeah. Do you mean last year? I'm not sure, but let us know what you think, Ray.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess if I'll answer, my interpretation of that, we really measure in terms of kind of TVL. We want people using our chain, and we want people to enjoy the products, but we're also not trying to hold people on the chain. So I mean, in terms of revenues accrued by the actual protocol, I'm not exactly sure if we even have that yeah, I'm as transparent. If we have it, I'll put it out there for people to see. That's something you guys want to see. I don't mind pushing it out, because it ultimately shows you what percentage of the pot when the vault is launched you'll be getting. So yeah, I'm actually not sure. That's a great question.
That was good. I never thought of it either. I don't think there's any blockchain out there that's probably keeping track of that for many purposes. Hey, we don't know. We don't know what's coming and going. All right, it was here one day, it was gone the next day. All right, we don't know. All right, good stuff. All right, so we need to be on the lookout, of course, for the airdrop. If you want to be involved with that, you guys can. You guys and gals can check out Botish.finance, the app, of course, where you can pull, bridge, farm, lend, swap, and do other things of the sort. You can hold Fuse token, it sounds like, to get that as well. Also, you say you will be having the app coming out. Is there anything I'm missing that you want to put out there also?
And thank you for asking me that. It just reminded me. So part of the gaming economy in the future, and for those who are going to get into the metaverse to an extent, these virtual worlds, however you feel or however you want to go about that, Fuse Cash Wallet actually has an NFT integration already built in. So you can hold and store your NFTs on the Fuse network on your mobile wallet. So if you want to do mobile gaming, such as let's say a DeFi Kingdoms or Axie Infinity ports over to the Fuse network, you now have access to do this on the go. So that's another just added value. And reason why I mention Fuse Cash so often is because it will eventually move into Voltage and there will be no separation. It will be just one. So that is.
So wait, Fuse Cash will go away eventually?
It will be just ours. It'll just be Voltage, Voltage Finance or something along whatever we rebrand it to, but it won't no longer just be Fuse Cash. Yeah.
Okay. Now, why are you all doing that?
Well, it was always built to work in tangent with Voltage. We just didn't.
It just came initial.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Again, folks, this is voltage.finance. We'll put that link in the description. Let's see, make sure I have that as well. And then, of course, any other relevant documents you can provide, we'll make sure we put those links out there as well. And yeah, I mean, this looks pretty interesting. I will say, of course, the DeFi sector is heating up. It's a lot of competition. And I think we talked about this before the show, but I didn't actually live. For the last question, because I'm seeing this in the comment section, is why not Bitcoin? Why not Bitcoin? Okay, I told you it was gonna come up, but I didn't ask first. It came up toward the end.
I love it. That's a great question. I can never, as a true believer in Bitcoin ethos, right? I can never tell someone not to buy Bitcoin first over any other coin. But what I will say is that if you can, as an investor, if you can maximize your returns on an altcoin, does you more in a faster rate than you could Bitcoin. It does you more good to invest in an altcoin, take your profits, and move into Bitcoin as an investor. From my perspective, in terms of Voltage, I think this is a long-term play. Park, whatever you're comfortable with, some money in here and let it ride. That's my personal take on it. And also keep accumulating your Bitcoin too. So I guess, yeah, that's how I feel about it. I hold Bitcoin as well. So.
Well, listen, I will again say I appreciate that last answer because it was transparent. You're like, hey, there's nothing wrong with going back over to Bitcoin. Too often we have some of you like, forget the Bitcoin, folks. This is where it's at moving forward. So I'm glad you didn't put your foot in your own mouth on that one. You're like, listen, guys, you can make money, you can do things over here, and you can go back and use that money to buy more Bitcoin. So I can't even be mad at that. That's some transparency right there. Like I said, most projects would be like, hell no, there ain't no more Bitcoin. This is the replacement. So I definitely can appreciate that. Other than that, let's see. I don't think we have any more comments. Everybody's giving you a hard time. They do that to us too, so don't worry about that. They're telling jokes about you. But don't you worry. They're giving you a hard time. You can read it later. They say you sit, you got your knee in your chest, they said. All good. Hey, he relaxing, folks. That's how you do. You just sit back on these laptops all day. All right. Other than that, as always, Zach, appreciate you coming on. And folks, as I already said, we will be doing a sponsor review for them later this week. So it'll be mostly just a broad outlines we normally do, introducing the project, showing you some of the different things they have, and showing you how to utilize it as well if you're interested in it. And then also, like I said, I'm pretty interested in these type of platforms as well and protocols. So I'll probably do a further deep dive in it for those who are interested. And maybe for the members, we go more in depth and talk more about the project. But again, Zach, appreciate you being on, folks. This is Zach Miller from voltage.finance. Also, of course, and working together partners with the Fuse network as well. And that token does look pretty interesting. So we'll make sure we check those out. And again, Zach, thanks for being here with us today. And appreciate it as well.